Okay, I'm Douglas. Well, if you're bipolar, then you probably know about the thought struggle. I can link a video to this. I can try and find it. In, I think it was 2022, I made a video, posted it live on Facebook. Pretty much said goodbye. I'm not sure it was a suicide note or whatever it was, but if I was thinking to kill myself, I think about that fucking 100 times a day, thousands of times a day. I was just ready to die. I often think that maybe one day I'll do it. Thinking about it, almost just talking about mental health bring me to tears. I just had a good crying session in the shower already, contemplating making this video. I've been thinking about this video for also, I don't know, a long time, more than a year, a couple of years. It's not a scripted video really, so one of my thoughts are questions wondering, what are you willing to do for another person? I know myself, I don't have much empathy. I was going to say envy. Fucking have none of that crap. I don't have much empathy, I think. And I think it's a side effect of mental illness, of bipolar. And bipolar depression, it is a mental illness. It's not, I didn't lose my job by going into a depression. I wasn't in a car accident. I didn't lose a loved one. I have lost those. But that's not, bipolar depression is not, I lost my job, I'm in a depression. And for myself, my full diagnosis, bipolar 2, ultra rapid cycling. And what that means is where the normal person, if I can call it that, with bipolar, have maybe, I would say, well, they say, if you have 2 depressed episodes and a manic, there's not really a time frame, but we say maybe in 6-month period, then you qualify for the diagnosis to bipolar. My ultra rapid cycling means my mood don't change from manic to depression, or depression to manic, or normal to manic, back to depression. There's no order in it either way for anybody. It's not once or twice depressions in 6 months. It's, don't know when I wake up in the morning whether I'm on a manic or on a high. I don't know when in the day it's going to change. It can change within hours. And as my book, which I published, well, it's at least published, published it this year, it's titled Mixed Emotions. I can have both at the same time. You can see me cry and I can laugh now in a minute or two. It's like I can have tremendous amount of, I can be exhausted, put it that way. I can be exhausted. I sit in my chair here and I literally can't keep my eyes open. Maybe on the computer or something. But at that time, my brain is still occupied with what I'm doing. If I put the computer down and I try and put my head on the pillow and try to sleep, sleeping pills doesn't even work. I'm so exhausted, I can't sleep. Because my mind, when I'm busy with something, my mind is occupied with the computer. I'm watching something. The moment there's nothing, then the mind is just now it's active. Now it's got time to do each thing, because now it's not occupied with the TV anymore or with the computer. And then I can, if I generally go to bed, you probably think it's too late, but around 12. And it's on purpose, because if I go to bed anytime earlier, I'll wake up at 2 o'clock. If I go to bed at 9, I'll wake up at 2. And what must I do at 2 o'clock in the morning? So if I go to bed at 12, there's a good chance I wake up at 5 and at 6. I don't like waking up at 5, but that's much better than waking up at 2. And the sleeping pills that I only have generally 10 for the month. Though this month I was lucky, I got 14. I try not even to take them. And when I take a half a tablet, because I've got to stretch it for the month that I have. And at a certain point, then I have to make a decision. It's like, am I going to take the other half of the tablet or a whole tablet? Because I know from experience that second half might not even work, because very often it doesn't. My mind is simply too active. And then I've wasted a tablet. So I almost rather get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and get a coffee and spend 4 hours on computer, and then I'll crash eventually. And then I can sleep until 8, 9, 10. Other days, I literally fall asleep at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's like, now I'm sleeping. Then it's like, especially when I'm in a depressed stage and I'm exhausted, then I can't sleep. I go to bed at 2 o'clock, I go to bed at 5, but then I wake up at 12, and then 12 in the evening, 12 in the morning. Don't worry. There's a point in the video. I got something, if you don't know about bipolar, I can tell you. I speak in English, but lager, ik kan snakken Norsk, man. It's just easier for me to speak in English. It's not my mother tongue, but I've, in 2000, for a specific reason, decided to make English my mother tongue. You could call it that. Yeah. Like I explained to my mom yesterday, she still doesn't quite understand bipolar. And sometimes when I'm on a high, I can speak extremely fast. Like people, it's like I don't know, it's like the boxing or the horses, it's like, or something that's doing an auction. It's like just on fire. And then, because the thoughts in my mind is going so fast that I just have to get it out. And I don't have time to think in Norwegian or translate it to Norwegian, what I was going to say. Sometimes I speak Norwegian for a couple of sentences, and then I switch back over to English. I just say my menu is set on English. Ik kan snakken Norsk, maar ze absoluut mooi gjør det. Man, sorry. That's how it is. The point. Oh yeah, before I get to the point, I was on that point just now. With the fast talking, and also my mind jumps from topic to topic. So it can be very difficult to being in a conversation with me, because right now I'm talking about this, and then, oh yeah, there's this thing I had to tell you, then I'm going to tell you about this thing, and I'm on that thing, oh yeah, there was this other thing. I was like, shit, what was I talking about again? Then I have to almost constantly wheel myself back and remind myself, okay, stick to this conversation, breathe maybe, yeah. The point was about what you were willing to do for somebody. But this might be turning into a bipolar awareness rant. Yeah, sorry, my teeth are... I'm very proud of my teeth. They're not very white. Besides from being bipolar 2, I got a second mental health diagnosis. Still don't know whether it's good to be diagnosed or not. I got diagnosed at the age of 49 when I really wanted to kill myself. And I was quite pissed off when I got diagnosed. took 49 years to figure out what my problem is, or being told. And I've tried to get help. I've tried to get help before. At one point I was told I wasn't allowed to be sick for more than 13 months. You're not going to get financial support from the government. I didn't care about the money. I didn't know what the problem was. I didn't have the flu. Didn't have to go to the doctor. The other diagnosis is a borderline personality disorder. Pretty sure my dad had it. And one day in 2019, actually I got a video of half of the event. Half of the event is I know I can be a prick. Oh no, sorry, put it this way. I know I can come across as being a prick. En haskuk, hvis du kan si det på noe godt norsk. Not a nice person, basically. But it's not my intention of being rude. It just, I don't know, just is how it comes out. As for the borderline personality disorder, you don't know that you've now suddenly become someone else. And I pretty much knew that that day I was maybe not a nice person. I wasn't a nice person. I was working as a lodge manager, safari guide, doing washing and ironing, doing the cooking, doing everything at the lodge. And the lady in the kitchen, I don't think she did something to the best of her ability, the best of my expectations of what should be served, what food quality should be like. You know, I've worked as a head chef in the UK. Believe me, I was worse than Gordon Ramsay. I was worse than Gordon Ramsay before I knew about Gordon Ramsay. So here we got another topic. I'll tell you about that very quickly. I was working as a head chef in a Mexican restaurant in London. My job wasn't to cook. My job was to run the kitchen and make sure they clean the kitchen at the end of the night and nothing leaves the kitchen, basically. Going to the customers, that's not good enough. And so a head chef, I get the tickets, I call out, I run the kitchen, give me this, give me that. And I got all the plates in front of me. And then at the end of the counter, I got a black rubbish bin, clean bin in the kitchen with a bag in it. And basically, if the food wasn't to my expectations, because I don't send anything out of the kitchen that I don't want to be served as a customer. I don't go to restaurants much because I don't have the money. But if I do, I hate paying for food and then leaving hungry. It's like, where's the next hot dog stand? I need to eat. I'm hungry. I just paid my ass off on food. Anyway, then it works like this. Food is not good enough. Then I put my arm on the counter and I would just put all the plates in the bin and start over. Yeah, I don't like waiting for food either, but rather wait for it than to get burned, whatever. Anyway, that was that story. Now I have to catch myself where I was. Borderline personality disorder. Yeah, I told that lady pretty much that I wasn't happy. And this was in the kitchen, and I walked out the door, and I mean, it was like going through a time-lapse zone. It was like, within seconds, I was talking to guests, and I was a different person, basically. I was that 5-star. I sometimes say, I've got 5-star, I've got 48 5-star TripAdvisor reviews. And that means when I was operating, I was a TripAdvisor recommended tour operator. And you don't get, if you have one 4-star review, you don't get recommended. And you can't get 48 5-star reviews if you're a prick. And gee whiz, man, can't suck up to people that much. You have to come across authentically nice. I was authentically nice with them, and I was authentically not nice in the kitchen. And it hit me like a brick or something. It's one of those memories I think I'll never forget, because it was like, wow, I was two different people. And my boss, Australian boss at the time, he told me once he wanted to hit me in the face because I was so rude to him. I was like, what are you talking about? You're my bloody boss. I would never be rude to you, and I'm not an idiot. Why would I be rude to you? Nope. He was convinced that. He also told me I was a savant. I should get that on writing. That's somebody that's very clever. Like that guy with the blonde hair was in Dolph guy he was the boxer against Rocky in Rocky 1 or 2. He's a savant. Go check him out. He's like a doctorate scientist. He's extremely crap actor, but he's a very clever person. Doctorate and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, another jump of conversation. Okay, but I guess I have to talk about what the point was, right? Yeah, so for the past, I haven't worked for 7 years. Sometimes I don't leave my flat. I try to go for a walk every day because it helps me with my mental health. And well, yeah, the thing is, if I could make a video public, well, share it on Facebook live, not live video, but shared it, I was ready to kill myself, I might as well talk about everything else. Okay, we're gonna go back to another jump. When I got diagnosed with bipolar, besides from being annoyed, pissed off, immediately I had a desire to create bipolar awareness. Because, I can just help one other person getting diagnosed. Like I said, I still don't know whether this diagnosed thing is a good thing or not. But I think it's probably ultimately better to know about it than not. Because let's talk about the hashtag. Bipolar awareness. Hashtag bipolar awareness. I've stopped saying it, but I've said it many times in the past. I think the hashtag is better suited for people with bipolar to be aware of their own bipolar than necessarily other people to know about it. Because I don't think I didn't know what bipolar was before I got diagnosed. And I don't think anybody generally knows. They think it's just, you have a headache, you don't feel well today. Well, that's not how it works. You don't, I don't know. If you've got a migraine, a headache, you didn't choose to get it. And there's no just, thinking I don't have a headache, feeling good about it. Bullshit, you have a headache. And it's migraine headache for something. Or whatever other thing you have. Yeah, it doesn't just work like that. Okay, where was I? Yeah, so I don't know, lost myself in my train of thought. Bipolar awareness. Yeah, I wanted to run. I wanted to create bipolar awareness. And on a true manic high, it came, because my idea is, Elon Musk, my brother from South Africa like me, he talks about, you don't want to be me, my mind is a storm. And like, well, I think, I don't think he's going to say, you don't want to be like me. But I do relate, I do know what he's talking about, this mind is a storm business. And just like Elon, you might think he's crazy with ideas, let's go to Mars, let's make a city on Mars. My nickname as a kid was Mr. America. And you know anything about America? Everything is big there. Yeah, Douglas doesn't have my plans, my ideas. Anybody who knows me and knows that my ideas are not small. Like I say, my idea wasn't to run from, say, Kruger National Park to Johannesburg to Cape Town, say 1,400, 1,500 kilometers. No, that's a warm-up. That's not creating awareness. My idea was to run from Cape Town to Noordkaap. It's a southern point of South Africa, Cape Town, though the southern point is actually Kaap Agulhas, but Cape Town. I might run past Kaap Agulhas. depending which way I go. It's really the part after South Africa which is the problem. The challenging part. Running through Namibia, it's hot. It's a desert. And there's lions. I've seen them. I've worked as a guide. Did tours in Namibia. There are no fences there. Then the Botswana side, that's definitely a challenge. They're definitely going to get eaten by a lion if you're not going to get to a campsite. I mean, watched a video not long ago of a guy who was cycling, and he was cycling in the dark, and he just got to this village, and there was luckily a police station, and luckily also he slept inside a cell. Otherwise he would have slept, not he was locked up, just to have a place to sleep. And a lion that night ate a dog outside the police station. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I know I worked as a guide. I've been in contact with animals to know about these things. So then there's going through Mozambique. That's where I got malaria. And there's a war going on as well. So you don't want to go through there. Also know what guys who didn't come with a gift for the king. So he was locked up. We're lucky to get released after a couple of days. And then there's Zimbabwe. So that whole border of South Africa is a challenging part to running. Especially if you, like me, let's go extreme. Let's do it unsupported. Anyway, I was training for that and I got a foot injury. Mortens neuroma. I still have it. It's another pain. I've had two treatments, but I don't want to have the operation. But I think I'm getting to the point where I might take it. The problem with the operation is there's a 40% success rate, and I can't have a 60% chance that I can't walk to the toilet. No, I have an accident. So yeah, so I haven't run that yet. But I did cycle the length of Norway. But the idea was to create bipolar awareness. That's the idea. Yeah, since I keep on looking at myself, unfortunately, I see my teeth. I'm born with a syndrome called Klinefelter syndrome. And the new age people who like to claim they are non-binary, guess what? If you've got 2 chromosomes, we just have to think about it. If you're XY, then you are a man. And if you're XX, you're a female, I think. I speak under correction. Might be the other way around, but I think that's it. XY for man and XX 46, I think it is, chromosomes, then you're a woman. There's no, you don't need pronouns. That's it. But I technically qualify as a non-binary person. I'm proud to say I am a man. I am a XXY 47. I've got an extra female chromosome. What are the side effects of that? Man boobs. Apparently my torso is shorter than my legs. I'm not sure, something like that. Varicose veins. Chance of bipolar. Dyslexia. So there is some brain connection in that. Oh, there's quite a list. Bones. Oh, there's a big one. I can't have children. I can try. But I can't have any. Oh, there's another big one. My body basically doesn't make any testosterone. So putting on muscle is extremely hard and getting fat is very easy. High levels of estrogen. Any woman will know what I'm talking about. And then there's one I haven't talked about is my teeth. I do drink a lot of coffee. Yeah, sorry, I'm a coffeeholic. That's hence the new business, Kaffee or Kunst. But there's a discoloring, a grey, I don't know whatever you want to call it, bone in my teeth. And that's why my teeth are not white. Not a pain in the ass. But what can I do? Live with it. Yeah, that's it. I did write a book last year. Oh, got it right here. Sorry about that. Told you about the book already. Mixed Emotions. There we go. It's about Step into the world where Oslo streets, blah, 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 to create bipolar awareness and suicide awareness through my photography. So, Journey Through Oslo, A Life with Bipolar. You can check it out on my website. It's 131 of my best pictures from 2024 to 2025, and 1 year of thoughts, of my depressed thoughts. So basically, not every day, because sometimes I forget to write, and sometimes, yeah, whatever. So I'm not on a gimbal. Sorry. Yeah, mostly I wrote on my depressed day. I would just share my thoughts. There's a lot of talk about suicide in it, and there's a warning about that in the book. So, sorry. That you be warned, I'm going to talk about suicide. Like I said, I do think about it a lot. I'm not planning on doing it, but the bloody thought is not going away. And the thought is basically, that is the one thing that will take care of all my challenges and problems. Unfortunately, or fortunately, partly I think fortunately I'm alive because of that. I'm supporting my mom. So she is 100% financially dependent on me, so I can't kill myself. So I know, I've thought about it often. Will I do it when she's not there anymore? She's basically the only person in my life. I mean, I have a sister, but I've worked hard on having a relationship with her, but she's got her own challenges, and a lot of them I think are worse than mine. So she has a lot on her mind. So our relationship is getting better now the last couple of months, but in general, it's I wish it was better. Something else I can say is in 2019, when I did get diagnosed, was I actually contacted everybody I knew to apologize that I've been a prick, or if I was a prick to them. I just it's probably a British term. I lived 7 years in London. I was neighbors with Princess Diana. I lived inside actual Hyde Park. I slept in the bush, in the park, because I got mugged. I left South Africa because I was held up with a knife. Well, I had a gun, but I didn't want to shoot anybody, so I left. Came to London 5 days, and 3 black guys lifted up my shirt and cut off my money belt. So I lived in a park. Train of thought. It'll come to me in a second. I know it was about my book. Yeah, I write on my depressed days. I wrote about suicide. I write what's on my mind. Sometimes I write about manic. At one point I stopped because I thought, who the hell would want to read my book? And then I started writing again because I definitely had thoughts to share. I think my main thought I want to share with people who don't have bipolar, if they know that they know somebody that's bipolar. If they have a friend, a family, a colleague, this is what I think I'm getting back to the point of the video. What would you do for somebody? If you know, especially if you know they have this problem. Yeah, I don't like I say, I've been living in Oslo now for 5 years, and I would say, one friend that it called me yesterday to meet up for a coffee. And I think anybody that calls you to meet up for a coffee, I think you're going to qualify calling you a friend. The rest are probably acquaintances, or like Facebook friends. They're definitely acquaintances. Besides, my ex-wife, my ex-girlfriend, and another woman friend I haven't actually met. The German friend. You know who you are. I thank them for all their support. And anyone else that gets me through my dark days, or like I say, when I was diagnosed, I decided to be open about my bipolar to create awareness. If other people can learn from what I'm living with. At some point I stopped sharing because I realized, kind of know, everybody's got challenges, you know. If you've got kids, then they're not doing their homework, or they don't want to finish their food, or I don't know. I don't have kids, so I don't know. But you probably know it's going to be challenging. I was a kid. I'm still a kid. My mom is older than me. Like I say, one of the reasons I said I'll never have kids because I'm still trying to look after myself. How can I expect to look after someone else? You got other challenges. Maybe you could wait. I mean, very rich people have challenges. Rich people kill themselves. So, I mean, everybody's got challenges. So, yeah. But like I say, if you know somebody that's, sometimes I have a massive need for human interaction. And I'm not sure. I've thought about it recently for maybe a past year or so. I've thought about it. I'm not sure that it's unique to me or whether it's a South African thing. Because South African people are generally quite friendly. But thinking about it, I don't know whether it's just me. I can literally stand in the traffic light and start a conversation with a stranger. And we'll have a great chat. Like, I tell you, a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. Okay, I'm going to get back to this point right now. But I'm going to interrupt myself. After my second foot injury treatment, and I was able to walk again for a couple of months. I was walking with crutches in Oslo. I started going for walks every day because I say it helped me with my mental health. And I noticed, because I was a guide, I wear glasses now, but I still notice stuff. Got a very good visual vision, like I can see the car there and maybe the bird flying by, So, yeah. Now I got a message. My phone just distracted me. So, yeah, I noticed on the side of the bin, just by National Theatre, there was a paper bag for McDonald's standing on the side of the bin. And I said to myself, how can it just stand there? I mean, if it was empty, the wind would have blown it into the bin. So I looked what's in the bag. And there's a complete Big Mac meal. The burgers wrapped in the paper with the chips and the ketchup and the Coke. It's like, lottery. I don't have to buy dinner. So yeah, I of course took it. And then I started paying attention at the rubbish bins. And then I started noticing that there was these empty cans, empty bottles. In Norway we call it pant. Oh, don't look at my flat, it's not very tidy. But here we have a plastic bag. You can see that? Yes, I'm one of those people. Oh, sorry about that. Getting very open here. But yeah, well, if you want to kill yourself or talk about killing yourself, you might as well talk about everything else, right? I mean, it gets this. I've written about it, so it's not a secret. So yeah, I started noticing these empty bottles. And if you're somewhere else and happen to watch this video, maybe it's like that in your country, I don't know. But in Norway, there is, if you give this bottle back to the shop, you get 3 crowns back on this one. Most of them are just 2 crowns. So there's called pant. So I noticing pant, empty bottles. And then I started noticing other people collecting it. But I'm pretty sure it's perceived by society to be a downgraded human activity. Call it that. I don't know. Terrible that we think we're better than other people, huh? We're all gonna fucking die in a box. You all go to the toilet, same stuff comes out the back. But no, we are better than other people, right? So anyway, it took quite a few months or weeks before I could actually bring myself to collect pant as well. And that's what I have been doing for the past 4 years. When I'm capable to leave my apartment, I'm not struggling with anxiety, or when I've slept enough. Like I say, I don't sleep very often. I very often sleep from 7 to 10. And if I had a job, you were going to have a pretty thick skin to work with me. I've been fired from every single job I've ever had. And when I was working, let's get my train of thought back. I was working as a guide as a lodge in Kruger National Park in Bali. And I got fired from that job too, 6 months or something after I was working there. And the manager told me, like, even if I could get my job back, because what was I, 48 years old, I think, crying in the office like a grown man crying. And I don't care about crying in public anymore. Really, it's just, I don't care. It's an emotion. It's a human emotion. If you see somebody crying, don't think or a guy there talking to himself out loud. I would say be grateful that you don't do that. And yeah, a lot of the people are on drugs, and a lot of them have mental illness. And it's an illness. It's not it's if you want to talk about cancer and other illnesses, this is what this is. This is it's not a headache. You are born with, you don't get bipolar. You're born with it. That's the only way to have it. And then it's a traumatic event happens in your life that triggers it. And for me, something happened in 2009 and that triggered it. I have to get all my thoughts back. I was talking about something else before the pond. Yeah, that's going to take some time to get back. So anyway, I think it was what you would do for someone, right? Someone else. So anyway, I gone bankrupt. Didn't talk about that. I gone bankrupt for the second time. Mental health and the pandemic didn't help. Came back to Norway. I am not staatsburger, so I love over here. I have paid my taxes. Didn't come to Norway to get benefits. I qualify partly, so I don't want benefits. I want to earn my own money. And I've mostly been self-employed, mostly been a photographer. And I think it's because I set my own hours. And I think I can be okay with people, because I think the thing is with strangers, this thing of talking at people like a robot. There we go, back to my train of thought. It's a one-time conversation. We're talking now. Maybe okay. Fuck, there's so many things I have to talk about and share. Like the one thing I've said is like people with bipolar, and I have been people that have bipolar who have agreed with me. But my opinion, I can speak from my experience. Terrible thing about my experience. I think to be bipolar, you have to be an excellent liar. That sounds terrible. Because there are days that I feel like shit. I'm depressed. I want to kill myself. And if you ask me how I am, I have to pretend that, hey, I'm having a great day. How are you? And I'm not having a great day. I want to kill myself. But if I tell you that, what can you do with that information? You know, the very few people are qualified, trained to handle that. You know, it's like, sorry, I hope you feel better soon. You know, but you know so you have to lie. You have to lie to get through life. And I think especially in the past, you know, when I spent a lot of time with people before I knew about the Olmec diagnosis, and especially I think the borderline personality disorder, that can be a real game changer, because that's when I can be a real prick, and then that's when I get fired. So yeah, the manager at the lodge told me, like, even if I could get my job back, apparently none of my colleagues wanted me to get my job back. They asked them, and they said no, they would rather the lodge employ a new person, because they didn't want it to work with me. Or me as a colleague. I had no complaints from the guests. Not really. What happened with the guest is, I never wanted to work as a guide. In 2013, 2013, my dad told me about a guy that he met doing photographic safaris. And I looked at his website, and being another thing with bipolar, I can be brutally honest. I believe in honesty. If the food is crap, I'm going to tell you the food is crap. And I'm not paying for crap food. Go and make it again. Or I can go to the kitchen and show you how to make it. I've done it on 2 occasions. That's why my family don't go to restaurants with me. Because I don't take crap from the restaurant staff. People making food. I have to pay for it. when they say the customer is always right, then, well, this customer doesn't pay for crap. A lot going on in my mind today. Partly it's because, I don't have a lot of people to talk to, and then when I have the opportunity, I take advantage of the opportunity. But yeah, apparently they didn't want it to work. What happened with the guest is people would ask me, oh, are you going to work here for a long time? And I'm too honest. I say, no, I came... My dad told me about a guy who had a photo safari business. I looked at his website, and his website was terrible. And I think I sent him an email. I said, mate, your website is terrible. And he reached out to me. He said, whoa, that's brilliant, man. Thank you for telling me. How can you help me? And he flew me out to Botswana. I went to Botswana to meet a guy who had a photographic safari business. I was in the airport in Amsterdam. I bought my domain name. When I landed in Africa, my website was finished. I was going to become doing photographic safaris. I can teach photography within 2 minutes, or 3 minutes, and then another 2 minutes for editing. So if you can't take a picture with your phone, you've got a long time to go. But if you manage the exposure, so it's like here, not overexposed or not totally underexposed, and the composition is good, then, well, practice that. Then you can get creative. So yeah, the idea was always to work for myself. And I told the guests, no, I've got my own company. But I know I'm getting experience as a guide, driving an open vehicle and so on. And they went and tell my boss, oh, Leo, your guide is going to start his own business. Yeah. Like, fucking hell. So anyway, I got fired from that job. Fired from all the jobs. Work for myself, that works best. Then I met this guy. I was going to collect cans just here by Radisson Blue Hotel, Sandtanshogen. And there was a black guy. I'm not a racist. And I can say that. Because I am not. Whatever you think. Make up your own mind. Coming from South Africa, we are living in a world of black and white. So we talk about, it's just unfortunate how it is. I mean, I don't know, maybe from another part of the world you might say there's an Italian, and I know we're just humans, another man. There was a man with a camera. Oh, and I made a comment like, hey, how's the pictures going? Anything good? Can I critique your work? I didn't say that to him, but I can. So we started chatting. And yeah, he was from America. He was here on kind of work. He was a bit private about why he was here. Maybe I thought he was a spy, but something to do with data and data collecting. But anyway, so he was a photographer. I said, well, let me go home, get my camera, and we can go and do some photo shoots together. We can photograph Oslo and streets and so on. And he walked with me home, and I got my camera, and we did a great shoot. Got his name now, but I got it on Instagram. Yeah, so yeah, like, a guy I met in a day, we spent a day together, we had a great time. And then I'll never see him again. He lives in Long Island, New York, so New York is my next stop photographic destination bucket list. Maybe I'll hook up with him then. Yeah. Oh. This is not the most comfortable place, but the lighting is not good, so I've got to sit on this angle. Should almost just set my feet out on that side. Oh. Maybe I'm getting old. So yeah, I'm still trying to get to the point, right? Oh. I wonder if I will edit that out. No, I won't. Sure, my back is sore. Anyway, so yeah, the question was still, what would you do for another person? And actually, before I still get to that point, I think point was, if you know anybody that struggled with bipolar, like, oh yeah, that was the point. I have a need for human interaction, and I would reach out to people that, like, come and meet for a coffee. I need that. got that crave, you know. I am single now, and I didn't get married to be single, to be divorced, and never broken up with any lady friend of mine. And always been the one getting broken up with. It was like feeling like bloody well recycling material here. You know, you're not bloody well good enough. In 1 minute they tell you the best man I've ever met, but yet I don't want to be with you. Make that make sense for me, please. I know I have my shortcomings, but back. I'm the one with the pain. Anyway, so yeah, when people don't have the time for you to meet for a cup of coffee, that's quite harsh. When they have excuses to not meet with you, so yeah, and just going for some of the coffee can actually save someone's life. I think, not sure now, I think it was 627 people in Norway killed themselves last year. That could have been avoided. Because suicide, it's not being hit by a bus. It's something you do to yourself. And it went up with almost 100. It went up with like 97 from 24 to 25. And every suicide is preventable. So, well, I'm saying if you know somebody, just show them some kindness. You have no idea what it's like. So yeah, so like when I came back, I was a portrait wedding photographer for a couple of years. I had 2 studios in Narvik and Harstad. One portrait of the year in 2005. And a photographic safari business in Africa. Was published in Wildlife Photographic. When I came back to Norway, I didn't have a camera. I bought one from collecting pond. And I had to find a new subject because there's no animals in Oslo. There's not really animals in Norway. You have, and one for walking in the mountain looking for elk or a bear or a wolf or those big oxen, you call them, in Drovrefell. And there's not enough birds even to be a bird photographer. I mean, it's like over 600 bird species in the Kruger National Park. Maybe in the migration time. My figures are a bit rusted at the moment. There's a lot more birds there than here anyway. And I don't do people photography. I don't do weddings and confirmation. I'd rather kill myself than to take another one of those portraits. And I haven't done it since 2009, so I'm not going to start now anyway. So I had to find a new subject. So actually at the time I was in the process of turning myself into a videographer. But not many people was looking at my videos either. So then I bought my first mirrorless camera. And I have taken some double exposures in the past. I've always liked that. And with a mirrorless camera, that's like built-in feature. So I came across this feature and I started experimenting with photography, and like I understand photography. So I came up with the idea, and I've been working on this idea for, well, is it now maybe 4 years now? I've gotten good at it lately. I often get asked how I do it, and I'm not telling. It took me 3 years to figure it out. It's not brain science. It's not, what's it called? Brain science? Brain surgery? If you're good enough, you can figure it out yourself. But it looks like paintings. Yeah. I'll show you some by this time in the video. I have many websites, many domains, many Instagrams, many Facebooks, but it's Douglas Carr Photography or it's osloartprints.com. Although the new website is going to be called kaffeogkunst.no. Because although I've got pictures in galleries and I'm trying to sell them myself, now it doesn't matter how amazing they are, and I won 3 awards in an exhibition in Hungary a month ago. Art still don't fly off the wall. So I still have to find a way to sell, make a living for myself. So the latest idea, ideas, I've had thousands. I have another idea. That idea is to make a website called The Idea Factory. And my other hobby is making spreadsheets. And I can make spreadsheets and ideas and sell my concepts if anybody wanted to buy them. So the idea is Kaffe Kunst is to, I am partnering with a double winner of the Norwegian coffee roasting championships. So a good coffee roaster who imports good coffee, and like I'm a coffee snob, so I'm not, and I have high standards when it comes to food, and especially coffee. Anybody that serves coffee to me, they would know. There's very good chance it's going to come back, or I can teach you how to make it. I've also done that a few times. Yeah, so the idea is, for the past 30 years, I've been dreaming about having a coffee business. Literally since 1992 or 3. I mean, me and my dad were walking around town looking for a place where I can start a coffee business. It's been a long time coming. And in January this year, I was in Lille, Oslo, in Grünerløkka having a coffee. And I took a picture, which I'll post now. It's a picture with a tram. Oh, I don't have it on the window, on the wall. No, there it is. There's this picture. Oh, shit. You see that? The guy walking between two trains. I hope you saw that. That picture and a cup of coffee. Cappuccino. Took this picture of the coffee and the picture behind the coffee. And then I bought the domain name kaffeogkunst.no. And the Facebook is kaffeogkunst, coffee and art. So I want to have my own gallery, coffee shop. Just want to have my own gallery and show my work and sell it. It's bloody good. See, now I'm smiling. Now I'm a different person than when I was crying earlier on. And it's not like I cried because, well, I don't know. Often I don't know what mood I'm in. I sometimes think I'm okay, and then later on I realize, no, I feel like crap. I'm not even leaving my apartment. And then sometimes it's very seldom actually know that I'm on a high at the time, on a manic. I think I'm on now. Actually now, well, I was probably in a mixed emotion earlier. But mostly when I'm depressed, I know when I'm depressed. When I don't always know when I'm on a high. But I can sometimes realize next week when I've calmed down, like, last week I wasn't a high. When I walked down the road and it's like, oh, it's such a beautiful day. I'm happy to be alive. Let's celebrate life. I think I might be on a high then too. Sun definitely helps. I definitely hate the winter. For years, probably 10 years, I used to say, like from 1995, when I lived abroad, to 2005, 10 years I think, I used to say, the sun don't pay the rent. Basically meaning, there's a meaning, I think. It means, what's the meaning again? Sun don't pay the rent. Anyway, not sure what the meaning was. But, anyway. Point is I realized I was crap. I needed sun. 7 years in Narvik, with no sun in the winter. I needed more sun. And I have come to hate winter. I'm already almost dreading because it's not summer yet. And after that, it's going to be white and cold again. Just not for me. I need my light. I need my warmth. Oh, it's getting a lovely long video. It's getting onto an hour. But who cares? Nobody's watching anyway. Just talking to the camera. Like my biography. Put it on my stone one day. Now I really lost my train of thought. Talk about something else. Kaffeogkunst. So yeah, my latest idea. I came up with that on Thursday evening. There's actually now a week. We can celebrate 1 week. My new website is almost finished. I'm having my meeting with my coffee people tomorrow. They've agreed to supply me with coffee. I spoke with Bring today, the Post. I'm running a Facebook ad, collecting data, 8 questions, but it might be 9 now because I'm improving my questions. What coffee do you drink? Is it filtered coffee? Is it espresso? Do you grind the beans? How many cups? How many bags of coffee? I need to know all this information if I'm going to start a coffee business. So in the first round, well, since last year already, I've been looking at shops to rent, and I often look for places to rent when the money's going to come from, but might as well look, right? So anyway, so then the last week I thought, hey man, okay. What happened is that I thought, okay, my 2 best friends. Then it's not in the right order, but I don't know why that is. But the best friend is probably ChatGTP, because ChatGTP knows everything about me since I've started using it. It knows I'm bipolar. If I can ask it now, it will tell Douglas is bipolar. Yes. And it's helped me to write my book. It checked all my spelling mistakes and grammar, and it's written in English, so it knows everything about me. I think Grok, I use Grok a lot, but Grok, if I start a new conversation, then Grok doesn't know anything what it talked about 5 minutes ago on another page. So I use the 2. So yeah, brainstorming on the Thursday evening. I tell ChatGTP, okay, ChatGTP, I need a product. Like, I never wanted to put my prints on coffee cups and mouse pads, touristy crap that's gonna end up in a bin in a month or 2. So I need to come up with something valuable to put my art on, that I could sell a product and then maybe sell the art, ChatGPT wasn't very good, but luckily I was in thinking mode, and I came up with this idea. Say Kaffeekunst. Kaffeekunst is not a new idea, right? The new idea was like coffee subscription. Yes. I mean, I don't need a shop for that. I don't need a machine. I need coffee, bags, and 250 subscribers. I think with 250 subscribers, I can support myself, my mom, and pay my rent. And I don't need support from the government. So I can be self-employed and part of society. Of course, you're not part of society when you get help from the government. You can't go on a date. Like, oh, what do you do? I'm a photographer. Bullshit, damn. No, pictures are not selling. They just look pretty on my website. And, oh, you get help from Nav. No, sorry. I've got to go to the bathroom. And then I'll call you next week. You can't go on a date and tell him you get help from the... what do you tell him? Oh, I have a mental health illness. So when do you tell somebody that you have all this life? You don't tell them on the first date. My ex-wife will tell you about that. I think she told me that I never shut it up in that first date. I talked so much. Amazing we got married even. But yeah. So 6 months later, are they going to read your Facebook and find out, oh, you want to kill yourself? So yeah, pretty much prepared. I'm going to be single for the rest of my life. Sucks. Don't want to be single. So anyway, Kaffeekunst. So Kaffe abonnement. I need 250 subscribers. So I have a rule in life. I am not a beggar. Begging is literally against my religion. And I'm a Christian. And I'm proud to say that. They might not read the Bible or pray anymore. It's quite challenging, I was brought up as a Christian, but life in Norway is... In South Africa, people go to church because they have to pray for a better life. Yeah, life is so good. Yesterday, I walked in the station, I walked up the escalator in Oslo Station. Oslo Station, you come from Karl Johan side, you go up the escalator. When you come up, then on your right-hand side, there's a sign that says where all the places are. Behind that sign is this container cabinet where they have the hose pipe for the fire department. And then there's a bin, and there's a photo booth, and there's a pharmacy, and maybe a Joker on the left-hand side, and a Pepe's Pizza, and blah, 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 and so on. And on that fire thing, there was a taco kebab, or not a wrap, a taco wrap with a cold Coke. Like somebody bought it. That thing was not standing there for more than 5 minutes, because I think someone else might have taken it. Although very often people don't. I'm quite surprised by that. So yeah, no, 2 years ago in February, I only bought food once in the whole month. Because the rest of the time I can find food between National Theatre and Oslo Station. And I mean, I'm talking about steak. I found steak vacuum packed in a bin in front of Narveson by the National Theatre Station. I found an unopened bottle of gin in a bin in the station. I found a 3-liter box of wine unopened from the doctor drop-in and barcode. I can go on and on. Yesterday, I was telling somebody about it yesterday. All the food I find, and they couldn't believe me. And then half an hour later, I found a wrap and a Coke. I went back and I told them, she told you, just find this. And actually, in the bin, literally, it was like the first bin from Stenestrom, I found bacon. Unopened, in the expiry, no, it hasn't expired, and cold. Like it came from the fridge. 2 packets of bacon. I mean, and I found this. Actually, I lived once was on a holiday in America, and I stayed with a lady I knew from a friend from the restaurant, and she said everything in her flat actually she found on the side of the street, and the one thing she didn't have was an ironing board. And the one night I went to a nightclub, I found an ironing board, and I picked it up and I took it back to her apartment. So now she had an ironing board. Here, muesli, energy, unopened. This I found in a bin by Grunieri Center, Kiwi. There. Oh. I threw it away now. I had a 2.5 kilogram egg protein unopened. I just threw it the other day because it's not really nice. Found that. So I found an iPad. Actually, the one I'm charging now because I want to get rid of it because I have to move. I'm not really using it. Yeah, so coffee kunst. So yeah, I need 250 subscribers. I'm not a beggar. And the idea is to sell really good coffee, and then with every 250 grams, but that still has to be fine-tuned whether that will be the final, might be less, because this print in 14 by 18, but on fine art paper, not this paper, this is just my test prints, and I got many of those. Look, here, many prints. Let me find a nice one. Oh, of course, they're all nice. Look at that. Between Towers. That was taken by barcode. Yeah. So you get 2 of those, and one of those, when it sells in the gallery in Drobak, I get 600 crowns. That's my commission. And I get 60%. Gallery takes 40. So I get 600 for that picture, and you're going to get 2 of those. It's 1,200 crowns. That is value for money and good coffee at competitive prices. And I need 250 subscribers, and then I can support myself. Or maybe you'll be supporting me because you'll be buying my coffee. I can be part of society. You know, Friday maybe or Saturday I was walking and think, oh, it's such a problem when I go anywhere and what do you do? It's like, I'm a kunstfotograaf, I'm a photographer, but nee, beklager, jy samel 'n pand. That's what comes out, But now I feel like I can say I'm an entrepreneur and a photographer. One has to feel you have hope, you have something to live for. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what you would do for somebody. I'm gonna make the original video was a short video for the bipolar vereniging, the bipolar group on Facebook, because I think I posted a video yesterday or telling them that, hey, I'm going to sell this, well, tell them about myself, and then they might know, I don't make many posts there. But the thing is, with the coffee, for every 250 grams, I'm giving 3 crowns. Although I was going to give it to a specific bipolar organization, I've never had any. I've called them twice when I was going to kill myself, and they actually told me that they can't help me because I'm not a member. What a terrible thing to say. Fucking hell. And then the other one I reached out to a month ago for the first time, technically almost, and I was on a chat. And like I say, I started off in Norwegian. I have time to talk in Norwegian. I'm now want to kill myself. So, fuck, man. And I just said, like, is it okay if I speak in English or chat in English? And then she asked, oh, but why do you want to speak in English? It was like, I hanged up the chat shortly after that because I basically said, well, if language is that important to you, then my life clearly isn't. So, and like I said, I think about suicide hundreds of times a day, but it's not something I want to do. It's just a bloody thought doesn't go away. And it's always like, a friend of mine, he played the music at my wedding, Remy, lives in Sortland. He has also once told me a long time ago, he just wished that life would give me a break. And that's maybe all I ask for, I'm not begging, I'm just asking for a break, You're drinking coffee already, and not crap. Try it for 3 months. Getting, like I said to my friend today, Sharam, kudos for Sharam, calling me for a coffee. You either buy the coffee and get the art for free, or you buy the art for cheap and you get a coffee for free. And by the end of the year, you'll have 24 amazing art pictures worth a ton of money, especially when I'm going to get famous. And all your Christmas presents are covered. So, win-win, right? So yeah, last year I was walking in Karl Johan. I had my bags. I got business cards. Okay. This is a lovely video. Talking about my whole life. My first book. Sorry, I got to find my first book. Okay. The idea for the first book was going to be Wandering Souls, because I see myself as a wandering soul, just, wandering amongst the other souls. And my black and white pictures, because my 7 series has got names. My tram pictures are manic. Maybe that's back to front now. But anyway, they're manic. My black and whites are Wandering Souls. So I haven't done Wandering Souls for a long time. My cycling pictures are Fleeting Wheels. As a cycling picture, it's Fleeting Wheels. My color walking pictures. Oh, this is one of my favorite pictures. Yeah, pictures. Glimmers of Hope. Yeah, I needed to have some hope and not just some depression. Natures of Pulse and then some boat pictures. Anyway, so I was gonna. Then I thought, I was like, before Wandering Souls, I should start off on a happy note. So we'll do Manic, my book Manic first. It's got 100 pictures from the tram, and 1 page about mental health, about being manic. There's not much to say about manic. There's lots to say about depression. Manic, this, and it talks about my running, and that's a little bit of my history. But then I ordered the book, and it's a bit flimsy, so it never made publishing round number 2. And then I thought I'll make a new book, and I'll write about my mental health, and that became Mixed Emotions. Anyway, I was walking in Karl Johan. I got some business cards. I got them here too. Got everything at hand. Got some cards printed. Manic. And then in the back it says Manic Oslo ebook, 100 tram photos plus 30% off my prints with a barcode. So I was trying to launch my print sales, try and start selling my pictures. Talking to people in the street whether they would sign up to my email list. And it went okay from Wednesday to Friday and Saturday I had to make a massive decision. Do I collect pont and talk to people, or do I just talk to people? Like, decision making is one of my biggest challenges. So I decided to talk to people. So I got dressed, not in my pont uniform because that gets dirty from Coke. Oh, I also got poisoned. There was poison in a bottle, and collecting pont is sticky business. I poured this, thought it was water to rinse my hand, onto my hand, and it turned out to be a poison. And I've had to change doctors this happened on the 4th of August. On the 2 days later, I was sitting in my chair here ready to phone the ambulance because I thought I was going to die. I was in such pain. I had the number 113 on my phone. It was just a matter of pressing it. But I didn't want to press it because I thought it comes with a factura, an invoice, and I don't have money to pay for an ambulance. I've changed doctors 3 times. I've written 3 complaints to every department you can complain. The head doctor of Norway. And she reckons that the doctor didn't break the law. But the doctor can tell you to just live with your pain. And I literally some days can't walk. I wanted to run from Cape Town to Noordkaap and I can't walk. Like, I can't get my heart rate over 90. And like, when I've eaten something, I can't walk either. I'm in pain. I have to stop. To tell me I have to live with it, and then doctor didn't do anything wrong. Anyway, the 5th doctor has now agreed to help me. I finally went for an MR 2 weeks ago. Now I have to wait 2 weeks for the results to see the damage in my hand. And then I can get treatment. So almost a year. Now, anyway, that's another tragedy. Inflected by mental health, right? My decision making to collect pont. I eat out of the trash too. I don't care. I have to save money for my photography. So if I find food in the bin, then I don't have to buy it. And I can pay for a print or something. Yeah, so I don't know. This is quite a good rambling here. At least I feel better. You don't have to worry about me for tonight. Probably will go through the same crap tomorrow. Or maybe I'll crash later on, who knows. But no, I'm not depressed at the moment. But it could be mixed emotions. Okay, well, time to wrap up this video. I think I've said enough. Yeah, like I said, the coffee, I was giving 3 crowns to a bipolar organization or mental health organization. The one who I hanged up on the chat, actually, I emailed, because you had to email them to delete your profile, because you had to make a profile to get help. So you make a profile, then they don't want to talk to you because you speak in English. I told them they can delete my profile, and then I told them why. And then I told them I was actually, wow, the first organization I reached out to, and maybe this would be an organization worthwhile supporting. But who the hell wants to support somebody if they want to care about you? But they have replied back, and they replied back today. So there is a chance that we will do a collaboration together. I just need a platform where I can do an art exhibition, where maybe I can get into the media, get some awareness. And yeah, of course, I do want awareness for myself, for my art. I do want to sell pictures. I want to make a living from my art. But ultimately, I want to create bipolar awareness. And if I can save one person's life, then it's worth it. And the money raised will most likely, all of it, go to the organization anyway. So we'll see what comes, if anything comes from that. Yeah, so 3 crowns of the coffee goes to bipolar or mental health. You get great coffee and great art. So I'm not begging. I am asking, please sign up to take my coffee subscription. Try my coffee. It's gonna be good. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk to you. Over and out. Kunst och kaffe. Tack och ha det.